truth be told, till it's feeling redundant.
He lying, I'm steady loving, he bugging. I cannot trust him, I fuck him, but it ain't nothing, I'm bugging. This love is something.
See the sunshine of tornadoes, horns and halos, all span war, love, lies, and betrayal. Lies, betrayal. Lies, betrayal. Lies, betrayal.
We are live here, not only on Boston Free Radio, but also, what's the word, on YouTube.
On YouTube,
We are live.
we're live. We've got to try to be creative and
Boston Free Radio, but also, what's on YouTube.
on YouTube. On YouTube, we're live. We've got to try to be creative and
Free Radio, but also
okay. So I get it.
on YouTube.
On YouTube. On YouTube,
Okay.
we've got to try to be creative and
Free Radio, also
okay. So I get it.
on YouTube.
YouTube. On YouTube.
Okay.
This is too funny. So that's what happens when close that up. Okay, so I get it.
On someone yet.
Okay, so we are back, just a regular kind of live, things to kind of work out. But you know what, guys? That's what happens when you are part of a membership at a local cable access station. And that's where Jonathan and I, DJ Don Snow, we're at Somerville Media Center in Somerville, Massachusetts, home of Boston Free Radio. And let me tell you, we all need your support right now. We need for you to contact the city of Somerville and let them know your experiences with a cable access station in your community, because we're trying to save the Somerville Media Center. We're trying to save it. We need your input. We need your feedback. We need support. We need sponsors, because we want to make sure that 90 Union Square continues to be the home of the producers who produce content for the radio station, Boston Free Radio, as well as the TV side component, which is Somerville Community Access Television Station. And that name may sound familiar to some of you because you know what? We've been around for over 30 years. We have been in the Somerville area. So if you've had any experience with or any interaction with Somerville Media Center, please send us a video of how much you care and the impact the community access station gave you. Send us a video. My email address is 2022wpc@gmail. Hit me up. And you can also send an email to the Somerville Media Center. Go to the website, Somerville Media Center, I believe.org, and please share what has been an impact to you about the cable access stations, because I'm asking for your support.
The fact that we're in this bind, we haven't actually asked or placated for support in any sort of way. any sort of financial way, that is. Because we've been here, as Yvette was saying, over 25 years. I know she and I have been here around that long. And Somerville Media Center has been here in the heart of Union Square for that long. Working alongside the community, working with schools, after school programs, with individuals within the community, you know. It's been a nice place, not like Cheers, a nice place to go where everybody knows your name, but I mean, it's been here. So to keep it here, we have to kind of make sure that at this point in time, we have that backing. We have that.
That's right. That's right. We need your backing, your support. We are the pulse, the heart of Union Square. We're the heart of Somerville. We're the heart of Massachusetts, if you want to hear it from me. But we need your support, and we need for you to just provide that contact local government in Somerville and let them know. Today, we're going to have a couple of guests on, and they're going to talk about some of their upcoming events. And then we'll share about our hip hop festival that's coming up August 20th, 2023. And we're looking for sponsors, vendors, and artists. Here we go. Our guest for today is joining. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Happy Mardi Gras. Happy Carnival to everybody.
Happy Carnival. This is all exciting. This is very exciting. So Johan, come introduce yourself and let us know what you're about to share with us.
Sure. So good afternoon to everybody. My name is Johan Correa. I'm the president of a newly found commission called the Carnival Society. We do have plans to expand, to work with all of our continental arts, as in costume makers, costume design, innovation, material resources, and all those sort of things, to make sure that the carnival arts, from Brazil to the islands to New Orleans, Galveston, Texas, Mississippi, they have carnivals. And those are very rich arts in our culture as people of color, being that the carnival is the only place where we preserved a lot of our history and tradition.
And so this is something that was centered in another location. What made you bring this to the Boston area?
Well, we have a large metropolitan community here that comes from everywhere. And having that unity through Carnival, that we all celebrate Carnival in different ways, in very similar ways. It just made sense to want to bring that into the city, along with a different perspective as to the worth of the arts. Because, we see them on the road and then they get destroyed, they get pulled apart. And it's very little people that get to experience that beautiful art, that has come from our parents and before them. And so it's we just want to value what that art is and the history behind it, because it's very sacred and very old, and it's been an energy of liberation.
So you have an upcoming event, and it's going to happen in Somerville, the heart of Massachusetts, on February 21st, right in the Crystal Ballroom, the Somerville Theater. So could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. So we're hosting a traditional Southern style, New Orleans style Mardi Gras tableau with a king and a queen, 2 seasoned debutantes being introduced as maids. So it's pretty much a pageantry of, a pageant of carnival royalty. We'll be having some Caribbean costumes. We'll be selecting a muse of carnival and 2 live bands, Legless Lizard Quartet and Roots Alley.
Collective, right?
Yes. And DJ Fenty. So it sounds like it's going to be a fun night musically, and with the performances we have put together some fabulous carnival costumes, and hopefully we just bring everyone together. You know, it's Carnival Tuesday everywhere in the world, and now Boston joins that list.
That is so exciting. So I met you through Final Touch or in that area, the Nubian Square area. Shout out to Nubian Square for all the things that they've done and continue to do. But there was a lot of involvement with the youth, and it seemed as if, or not the youth, but it seems as if you are nurturing and helping and empowering individuals that become involved with the pageant. Could you speak a little bit about that?
Sure. So when we appoint the Court of Carnival, the debutantes and the King and Queen are expected to serve, and serve their communities and get involved. So we want them to be involved, in diplomacy and policy and all of those things going on around them that affect our communities. We select them because they have great potential, in our communities. They're bright young ladies, and somebody like Mr. Ken Field or Last King, Mr. Sergino, are people that have served their community for quite a bit now. As you know, Mr. Ken Field was one of the original founders of Honk Fest.
We love Honk.
And so we're excited to have him reign as king this year. And we hope that these young ladies that are being introduced every year, and they come to form some sort of frats or type of relationship with us. And that gives us an opportunity to shape our youth. And if we can do it while having fun and performing, and it's beautiful. I'm really enjoying this opportunity to do this in the city. I think it's a beautiful thing.
So when you have the young ladies, if there are parents or young people listening to our interview, what are some of the things that you all look for in participants?
Sure. So a debutante that we usually look for is a young lady that clearly knows what path she's going down, whether, academic or professional, or just her life goals in general. And usually just a trait of community, just somebody who enjoys taking on that role, who feels that they have something to share and something to change.
I just think it's a fabulous thing. I know you all did the parade in Nubian Square, and the participants marched, and it was just a beautiful day. Do you plan to do something similar to that in Somerville, or what would be the vibe, and how could people attend your event on February 21st?
Sure. So yes, it's pretty much that, indoors.
Okay.
We'll have fabulous, feathered costumes and rhinestones and sequences and all that on stage, with all the fabulous royalty. And, it's just, where else do you dress up on a Tuesday?
Oh my gosh. So rhinestones and feathers, you won't be considered as overdressing, huh?
Oh, no, there's no overdressing. It's a carnival ball.
Ah.
And the fabulous Crystal Ballroom was just opened a couple of years ago, and we've had our previous ball in there, and it was beautiful. And so, yeah, it's pretty much something like that, indoors. The event is formal or costume, whatever costume you'd like to wear. And as a matter of fact, I know you are so involved in the community and you do so much. we want to send you out 10 tickets, and any of your viewers can call and request, and you guys can settle how you'd like to give them out. So if you're watching and you're interested in attending the event, we are more than happy to sponsor those 10 tickets at the Crystal Ballroom.
Oh, thank you so very much for that.
Sure.
We'll have individuals reach out to us via email or when this is posted to Facebook, and we'll work on that list. February 21st is the date in Somerville, Massachusetts, at the historic Somerville Theater in the brand new Crystal Ballroom. A beautiful spot. A beautiful spot.
Yes.
One other question. I mean, I know that you sent, I apologize for this. I think I saw that email, but now I can't get back to it. But could you just tell me what made you get involved in doing this?
So I pretty much grew up around Mardi Gras, Carnival, creative work, all that sort of stuff. And when it was time for me to, do the whole college thing, I realized there was other ways of living as a creative, and that there's many realms that allow you to do what you want, how you want to enjoy your life. And so the carnival was a great opportunity because there is amazing industry in the carnival, and that's what we would like to bring to the city of Boston. Some sort of industry that allows the artists to continue working. And that's pretty much why I got involved, because I noticed there's great, potential in the arts, and just to have them appreciated in a different light. I guess it became a little bit of a mission to say, someday everyone will see, what I see, these beautiful arts. And that's what made me want to do it. This is a great city with amazing opportunities and funding and people in general, that I know will make this come together. Our carnival here, our Caribbean carnival, is in a little bit of distress. There's material went up. It's a little harder to make those big, fabulous costumes now. So we also want to push any type of city governmental cultural support. Because as an example, the city of Boston is half a century now. This year is 50 years since the official Caribbean Carnival organization formed. And around the same time, these costumes were being made. So it's part, as a matter of fact, we're in February, and this is something nobody ever talks about. The carnival is a huge part of Black history in the state. That's half a century as well, and it's in peril. So that's something I'm really proud to work on, and just working with officials, at least pushing them, and finding ways of funding it and creative ways to reimagine how these arts are displayed and portrayed and ultimately funded and made.
That that's true. The city needs to really embrace the arts, and also make sure that arts return to a greater level within the schools. We had an interview with the Bad Boys of Funk, who were the backup group for Rick James. And the conversation led to the lack of the ability for the kids to really, touch arts, music, spend time and love it and enjoy it. So, even if we can get those types of things and funding and place to have it in the after school programs, or even have what you're doing and having kids learn about these things at a young age as a after school program.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not just for the carnival itself. So what my organization has been doing is we have been using these costumes in unusual ways. So, for example, we've sponsored Miss Massachusetts at the Miss USA costume for 2 years now, and hopefully this will be our 3rd year. And so it was fabulous to see that many feathers on stage. If you guys want to see any of our work, you can check it out on social media, online, as everything as the Carnival Society of Boston. And just last weekend, we worked with Joy Skate Productions at 401 Park Drive in Fenway, and we had a beautiful carnival type of show on ice. We've considered working with burlesque groups, And so, there is industry and there is other things for these artists to do besides carnival, such as couture clothing or custom, anything. It's just not implemented. There's no organized format to develop that.
Well, can you go into detail or kind of name some different aspects of art that are present in carnival and are on display? Because I know we see the flashy feathers and the pretty girls, but there's more than just that, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest issues here is recovering the actual arts of carnival, because what you have now is just everything is wire, stones, and feathers. Whereas the carnival, it was originally meant to satire these rich white Europeans that came, such as the Dame Lorraine with her big butt, and just her whole family was fat because it represented this luxury of leisure. The ribbon suits and the wire masks, all those things disappeared, which have a rich symbolism, which is what represents those struggles and the culture that we're trying to save. And that's another issue you have to face too, that the youth likes that, but I'm sure that if you expose something different, it just has to be put out there. People will come out. The older crowd will play mass again, because it's not, like I said, that's kind of like a Minstrel type of work. It has to be intellectual mass. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not just a show of something. And that would be nice to go back to. I don't know if anybody has heard of the Mummers in Philadelphia, or you know what I mean. When you portray something really well with a spirit behind it, it's a spectacle, and that's what Boston Carnival, that's what all carnivals should be. Right. A beautiful spectacle that is financially stable and that is financially reliable, because we can't keep on spending $5,000 each summer to something that doesn't return anything.
Right.
But grief. So if you can just work something out that is diplomatic and that works for everyone in a share sort of voice, I think that's wonderful. And this city is ready for it. I mean, we have Encore, they're used to those type of spectacles in Vegas. You know what I mean? We have many resources here. You have some of the nicer people from the Caribbean come here to go to school. There's definitely a crowd, but I think there needs to be a little cleanup of how these arts are presented. The Brazilian Ball of Toronto, I think that was almost 50 years running too. I think their gross income was coming to $5 million per event. And if anybody cares to go and look into the Brazilian Ball of Toronto, that is a perfect example of the commission we're trying to establish here, and a way to create art with art. It's a very simple thing. There's a demand for something, and if we can just organize it and formalize it so it's respected and funded as it should be, because of what it represents and what it is. But it's a lot to do. It's just the youth is not exposed to anything else. So
exactly,
it's hard. Exactly. But it's beautiful once you see designs. Once you see some of the newer designs that are coming out in the Caribbean, that incorporate couture and mass, and that's a new forward-thinking type of thing that we can do here. This is a city that is made for that type of stuff.
In Somerville, we have Somerville Open Studios. And so I'm hoping that we'll be able to coordinate something to where you'll be able to put that art on display at the Somerville Open Studios event that's happening May 5th, right here in Somerville, Massachusetts. But so that people can see these beautiful costumes. I would love to see teachers come by, because there are a lot of programs within the schools. There's vocational programs. And wouldn't that be amazing if you could actually go in and talk and show this off, and there could be some kind of challenge amongst the schools, and the outfit gets made and then it gets worn at your next year's event?
Yeah, that would be something really nice to get youth involved.
Yes.
And like one of the greatest examples of a carnival I have is Notting Hill, because it's not considered well, it is the Caribbean carnival, but the city considers it the city's carnival.
Okay.
It welcomes everybody, just like San Francisco. And I think that's another thing Boston has to push really hard, is to get anybody that has any carnival celebrations to come and be involved, so that it's a great big carnival.
It's kind of the same concept as honk that
Right.
happens Labor Day weekend every year in Somerville. And they have people coming from all over the world participating.
Right. And that would be great. And that's industry and that's money. And, that's something that can push forward, with independence.
Well, I really appreciate you coming onto our show today. We're going to edit the segment and then upload it so everyone can hear all the great news. And we'll also share the flyer. But if you want to go ahead and share the details one more time, that would be awesome.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me come on your show. It's been a wonderful conversation. If anybody's interested in coming or getting those free tickets, if they're still available, it is on February 21st, Fat Tuesday, at the Crystal Ballroom in Somerville, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
So reach out to What's the Word Radio at 2022 WPC at Gmail to get on the list to see if you can obtain one of these free tickets. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we end this segment?
No, it was a beautiful conversation. I think we've covered all of our bases and
Yes,
why we're
yes.
here. So
Yes, we
thank you
did.
to the listeners, and happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras. And thank you for all the work that you're doing and that you continue to do. And I hope that Jono and I and What's the Word Radio can be supportive and follow you as you progress to 2024.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
You're welcome. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Jono. So it's 1:51. You guys, we need your help. Somerville Media Center, Boston Free Radio. We want to stay here. We want to be here at 90 Union Square. So reach out to the City of Somerville office, the Somerville Media Center, send us a video of why the Media Center is important to the community and how it builds. Yes, sir, Jono.
Yeah, I just think it's great that we have this outlet to really connect with not just with the community, but bringing people into the community or letting people know this is what goes on in the extended reach of our community. Because even though something may be happening in Boston or in Everett, we can always come back, or people from Somerville can always go that way, or people, we can all connect in some way, sort of another, by our connections with the culture. So be involved is something I would say with community and with culture.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and announce this, make this announcement. There is going to be a big event at the Island Lounge in Malden, Massachusetts. That's going to happen on Thursday night. The address is 118 Ferry Street. And this is being put on by True Era Media. It's a networking party, Black History. And it's going to be hosted by Fume Jackson and Heavy. And I'm just saying this, guys, but they are acknowledging some of the work that I've done over the years, and also Supreme Richardson, who has been heavily involved in the community. He's been on our radio, our TV shows, radio shows, been involved with Fathers in Need, NAACP, but he's a wealth of information in the community. And so that's going to happen on February 16th out at the Island Lounge in Malden, Massachusetts. But the other big thing before we head out of here, guys, don't forget our upcoming hip hop festival. It's our 9th hip hop festival right here in Somerville, the heart of Somerville. Somerville Media Center has been a support for this hip hop festival since the conception of this. It's been there. Somerville Media Center empowered me to say, go ahead and fulfill your dreams. Do it. It felt like Nike. Can I put that on the tennis shoe? But that's what Somerville Media Center did for me. It's done it for many people, young people. I brought my children here to build communication, and they were instrumental in providing something for me to utilize to help build the communication between myself and my children. And being a mother of children of color, hey, I had to have that talk that President Joe Biden talked about, the State of the Union. I had to have that talk. And so Somerville Media Center has been a place that's allowed me to have that talk with multiple people, have that talk with young people. And what we do, we're giving them another POV, see why we are, as parents, are having that talk. Collectively, we change the presence at the tables because our kids become empowered.
Right.
Now they seek office. Now they're in the political game. Now they're working for the city, or they're involved with meetings within the city, within the schools, PTOs, PTAs.
Right. Not
This
only
is
that,
what.
I'm sorry,
No,
but
no,
not
no, no.
only that, we, with community centers like this, we give our children the tools to communicate, to not only have that talk, but also talk back, also
And
know how to engage and how to create some type of
yes,
content that people would understand what they have to say, what their
right.
point of view is, and
Yes,
really bridging that gap in both directions. So
exactly.
places like this, people like Yvette, yes, I'm glad you don't get your flowers. I'm here clapping early. It's okay.
I don't know what you just said, but something was like kind of, I appreciate that, the flowers. But when I got into this was definitely all about creating strength for my children, because I wanted to be involved. I wanted to have that conversation. I wanted to be able to be in a safe place that taught them some skills. I put them in front of the camera, behind the camera, and that gave them a perspective that allowed them to interact with other people. And I feel so blessed. My kids are giving back,
Right.
and right. So for me, Somerville Media Center has been very important. I'm a transplant. I'm not from Boston. So you know how Boston is with the clicks. I'm just saying, I'm just going to put it out there. You have to build your own. And that's what Somerville Media Center, Boston Free Radio, right there behind Jono. Somerville Media Center, you see that? Boston Free Radio, SCA TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somerville Neighborhood News.
Somerville Neighborhood News. We save this place, we'll bring back Somerville Neighborhood News. If they don't bring it back, I'm going to bring it back. And we're going to bring back the Somerville line. Let's bring some action up in here, because this is what they do. This allows us to get our stories out to the community. And we don't have to ask anybody for anything. We just have to support ourselves.
Right.
And that's what we need. So it's 1:58. Shout out to everybody. You've got on February 16th, the Thursday, you've got the event at Island Lounge. And then on February 21st, Fat Tuesday, you've got a chance to participate and join us at Fat Tuesday on February 21st.
Woo!
That's what I'm talking about.
That might be something fun right there.
Oh, might be. If I'm there, I know it is.
So if you want to get down, get in touch with us.
Get in touch with us, 2022wpc@gmail.com, and sign up to receive a ticket. We only got 10, so hit us up. You getting ready to take us out?
Yeah. We already halfway out there. So we got a few minutes left.
We only got is 1:59, and you know the next show is up. We want to give mad respects to our upcoming artists, but we want to be here and keep continuing to bring you weekly shows. So please contact the city of Somerville and let them know the importance of having cable access stations in our city. Peace.
So pick your head up and come on in. There's no drama, I'm saying, and no haters up in this spot. You treated like the queen that you are. You off the red carpet like a superstar. And beautiful you baby, and beautiful me too.
Me too.
I tell you what we're gonna do.
Yes.
We're gonna party like tonight is through. Beautiful you.
Me too.
And beautiful
me too.
Beautiful you.
Beautiful you. And beautiful me too. Oh. There we go. We're out of here. Hey.